Hi, I'm Kaylee, and today I'm doing the Shelf Superlatives tag. This tag was created by Library of Sarah, who is one of my very favorite booktubers. I try to watch all her videos. I just love the way she talks about books and about journaling and about life. She's a fantastic person and a wonderful booktuber, and if you're not subscribed to her, you need to go down below and look at the links and subscribe to her. So of course, when she created a tag, I had to do it, obviously. But before I get into the tag, I want to make sure that you know that Books for MKs is a charity that donates books to missionary kids. Today's MK shout out goes to Aaron, who is 17 years old and lives with his family in Mexico. Aaron loves to read science fiction books. If you want to donate to Aaron and children like him, you can donate safely to the Books for MKs charity at GoFundMe.com. And don't forget to subscribe and to click on that little bell. Okay, I have a paper with some questions and answers all written down, ready to get into this tag. Question number 1, what is the highest number of books that you've read in a year? I had to go back in my Goodreads and look for this one, but in 2016, I read 201 books. I am hoping to surpass that, at least by a couple of books this year. Question number 2, what book on your shelf is the oldest? Either the oldest published book or the oldest book that you ever acquired. The oldest published book that I own is The Five Nations, which is a collection of poetry by Rudyard Kipling. This book was published in 1903. It is so old and falling apart, I'm scared to even touch it. Question number 3, what book on your shelf is the newest? Either the newest published or the newest acquired. The newest published book that I have is the Thomas Wildus and the Book of Sorrows. That was published on February 2nd of this year. The newest acquired is The Priory of the Orange Tree, and I bought that one on my Kindle. It went on sale a couple of weeks ago. The Kindle edition went on sale, and so I bought that one. Question number 4 is, what is the thinnest book on your shelf? So if you consider size, like the smallest book that I own are these teeny tiny little editions of The Merry Wives of Windsor by Shakespeare and The Coming of Arthur by Alfred Lord Tennyson. So these are teeny weeny, but they do have a lot of teeny tiny pages. But the book that I have that is not necessarily thin, but has the fewest amount of pages is The Wind in the Willows jigsaw book. So these pages are quite thick, like a board book, you know, because they have jigsaw puzzles on them. So I'm trying to get it where it'll reflect, where you can see the pieces of the jigsaw. But this is only 14 pages. So I don't know, it's not thin though. It's, you know, it's kind of thick, but it has only 14 pages. I don't know, whatever, something. Number 5, what is the biggest book on your shelf? That is definitely the complete illustrated Shakespeare. This thing is humongous and it's killing me just trying to lift it. It has all of Shakespeare's plays and sonnets, and it is beautifully illustrated. Lovely, but not easy reading. Ooh. Number 6 is, what is the most colorful book on your shelf? I'm gonna go with Good Wives, which is the second half of Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. These days, most of the time when you buy Little Women, the second half of that book is Good Wives. But originally, Little Women was published just the first half, and then the second half of it was published separately as Good Wives. But this is very colorful. Like, this is very bright colors for this book. And it has lovely, bright illustrations inside as well. Number 7 is, what book have you reread the most times? This is definitely The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. I started reading this when I was a little kid. I might have been 9 or 10 when I first read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and I've reread them every year or every other year since then. So you add up, how many times have I reread it? Probably like, I don't know, 25 times maybe, the entire series. And it never gets old, and I always love it. Number 8, what is the longest series on your shelf? So I don't own all the books, but the longest series that I am currently still trying to read through are all of the Hercule Poirot books by Agatha Christie. There are 33 Hercule Poirot books. I think that includes collections of short stories as well. Number 9, what's the most recent book you've read? Just yesterday, I finished reading Space Kid Ilk Invasion 101, which is a children's graphic novel all about this space kid who his father is doing an alien invasion, and he doesn't want to do an alien invasion. He just wants to hang out in his room on the spaceship. It was really cute and very clever and funny, and that review will be coming soon. Number 10, what is the least recent book you've read? And I had to try to think back to my childhood or of reading or something. But one of the books that I remember reading as a child were the Bobbsey Twins books. I adored the Bobbsey Twins when I was a kid. My family had these very old editions of the Bobbsey Twins, you know, a ton of these. Probably have like 15 of these old Bobbsey Twins books in these kind of old editions. I don't know if these are first editions or what they are, but they're just so cute and adorable, and I just remember loving these when I was a kid. What is your most read author on your shelves? That is definitely L.M. Montgomery. She wrote 32 books and collections of short stories, everything pretty much that is fiction anyway that she's published. I have read it. First of all, she was just such a prolific author, so there's a lot of stuff that she wrote that is still being published today that is widely available to read. And also, I just really love this author, so no wonder she's my most read author. And the last question is, what book on your shelf do you think is the least popular or either the most hated book or the most unknown book? I think I'm gonna go with That Boy Johnny. This book is by Evelyn Ray Sickles, and it was published in the 1950s, and it's this adorable book about a boy growing up on a farm. It's just full of kind of this American heritage kind of feeling. It's sort of similar to Farmer Boy in the Laura Ingalls, you know, Little House on the Prairie series. It's just this boy being mischievous and getting into trouble on the farm. The reason I chose it for this question is because it only has 3 ratings on Goodreads. Nobody knows about this book, and it's such a wonderful old book. And that is the Shelf Superlatives tag. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know what would you have answered for some of these questions. I tag anybody who wants to do this tag. It's absolutely wonderful. Please be sure to check out Library of Sarah down in the description. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.